The basic premise of running an airline is to keep airplanes in the air. And the basic premise of keeping airplanes in the air is a matter of engineering. Boeing always was an engineering-driven company because they recognized that fact. It was only late in the game when management got in the act and forced the hand of engineering to get larger plane in the air for more seats and greater profit. It didn't turn out well. When our nation was founded, the basic premise was to keep people free, but somehow the government got in the act of aiming for some greater good, and that greater good was keeping themselves in power. And we've all seen how that worked out. We're not even off the runway yet, and it's already a disaster. Welcome, welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. This was the anniversary of January 6th. That was an alarm bell that something was terribly wrong, but many were not ready to hear that warning at the time. Now, almost 4 years later, many are now ready. When we started Conservative Coffee Hour, many topics which were considered conspiracy are now mainstream. And the conspiracy people have all moved on to spiritual enlightenment. Slowly, we see that crossover taking place with people like Carol Swain emerging, and even President Trump touting the idea that God is the only way. We used to have what was called the moral majority, but that was maligned. Then we had the silent majority, and that was driven underground. But it's been fertile ground, and now we're all emerging from our long sleep. In the history of Boeing, the 737 was the most successful airplane in service from 1967 until it was replaced by the 737 MAX in 2016. If you remember, this disaster was followed shortly by the fire at Notre Dame, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the 2020 election. It was a series of disasters. None of us want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it all makes you wonder. The 737 was the most popular plane for both passengers and pilots. Pilots loved flying it. The MAX was over-engineered to pack more people onto it and to prevent pilot error by overriding pilots' control from the cockpit. Today, we see the US government over-engineering our system to operate against us on our behalf. We were just trying to get from point A to point B and to do it with a little style and class. We're not really sure when corporations decided they weren't making enough money and when profit started to override human life and when the government started overriding our personal freedom. We don't have all the answers to all that at Conservative Coffee Hour, but we're taking very good notes. We may not be lining up the gate to board the 737 MAX anytime soon, but at the polling place, well, we'll be lining up there en masse. Some will be crossing over party lines for the first time. And all we can say to them is welcome, welcome aboard, and thank you for flying with us. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.